Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's almost 2018. What do we got? A day? Day and
One day
2 days?
left.
It depends on how you look at it. Glass half full? Glass half empty? Today's not over yet.
No comment.
So
That
is
is
it
true.
one day
So
or is
2018
it
is
2 days?
technically 2 days.
Yeah,
Right. All right.
technically. Technically.
Technically technical.
So I'm focusing on what I'm doing next year. I thought about it a lot. There's a lot of things I want to do, a lot of things I don't want to do, and I don't want to disappoint myself.
What do you don't want to do?
What do I don't want to do? I don't want to increase the amount that I work.
Okay.
So
Fair
that's
enough.
one thing I don't want to do. I want to work less. So
You deserve it, man.
that's on my to-do list is figure out a way to spend more time not working.
That means I work more.
It will, yeah. It'll mean that other people work more. So
Yeah.
there's some things I've been trying to think about outsource, like maybe some of the inventory ordering, that kind
Okay.
of stuff. That those days where we work all day and then I have to work another 8 hours straight ordering. I'm thinking, hey, if I could alleviate that, because I could set up more things to kind of automate that. But as far as fish goes, one of my goals, and this is going to sound crazy, is I really don't want to set up any more fish tanks. My goal is to set up no more fish tanks. It was to bring home no new fish,
Well,
but I know there's some fish I want. Well, no, there's no
starting
fish
the
I
new
want.
year, you will start setting up new tanks.
They're already set up.
Well, there's no fish in them, or
There's water.
substrate and.
There's water in every single tank,
Okay.
so they're set up. But I won't be like setting up any new aquariums. That's my goal. My goal is to set up no new ones that aren't already set up right now. There's still one that's going to move, but set up. Oh well, I can think of maybe one more, but
See?
I'm trying not
See?
to. I'm trying not
So
to.
the Asian thing is like when it hits New Year's, everything that happens on that day,
Yeah.
it kind of transcends throughout the year. So like you always want to take your showers, wash your car before that all happens. So everything's nice and clean. You have to get everything nice and clean before the new year hits.
So what do? Take a shower at like 11 o'clock at night?
No, like just you take a shower before, get a nice haircut.
Mm.
Just do all the things that you want to transcend through the year.
So then, like, don't set up a fish tank the day
Yeah,
before.
don't set up the day before or something. So
So yeah, not trying to add any more because that's part of that workload thing. So I'm trying not to add more workload. That being said, there's reasons for that. Like the reason I don't want to add more tanks is I really want to build out some actual ponds and not just be like, oh, ran out of time again. Dang it, And I know that there's a lot of traveling this year, so I know that in the realm of possibilities currently there is, and I'm not committing to any of them. So don't be like, you said you were going to do this. There's China, there's Germany. I'm committed to doing the ALA convention in Michigan. I'm committed to doing the Peru trip collecting. I'm looking at the NEC Council. I'm looking at I'm not committed because I haven't bought tickets yet, but I'm going to Chicago Aqua Experience, New Jersey. And so that's just all the stuff, and it's not even that year yet. So I'm worried that I'm going to travel a ton and then neglect fish tanks. So my goal was to downsize the amount of tanks, make it manageable for everyone taking care of it while I have to travel a bunch, while I get to travel a bunch. And I also want to, my goal is to like film more of the tank. So what does that mean? That means instead of like, hey, look, here's this tank, and then I don't chime in on it for a year, and then I'm like, look, I'm tearing it down. I want to do more updates on the specific tanks and that type of thing. So being that we'll only have, like over there in the studio, we'll only have, 4, 6, 10 tanks. That's a lot easier to do more updates. When you have 60 tanks, you can pretty much show a different tank every week, and you didn't even make it through the year. So
yeah.
that's part of the plan there. What else do I know I'm going to try and do? I'm trying to, I think, and I'm not committing to this yet because I've just been thinking about it a lot. I think this Saturday show is going to turn back into a Q&A show because
Okay.
I really enjoy just like answering questions. Like someone asked if I read Camellinus redworm. Definitely have. I use levamisol to treat it. You get it from Greg Sage at Select Aquatics. Stuff like that. Like, I feel like now more than ever with 100,000 people is the time to be answering questions, stuff like that. And I think the problem in the past was people didn't want to give up the informational show. So, like, we want to learn about puffers, but that was at the cost of not doing a Q&A. And that was always like, oh, I'm torn. But with the Real Fish Talk, we're going to do episodes. We're going to bring in experts. We're going to do all that stuff. And so that's going to, like, do the informational part. And then this can do more of the Q&A part, I think.
Okay.
So,
that's how I fell in love with your show.
Yeah, Q&A?
Was the Q&As, the long live streams. It's just something to change water to, and then I started watching your other content.
Yeah. So I want to just, one-on-one with more people, that type of thing. Because it is scaling to an unmanageable level when it comes to private emails and Facebook comments and YouTube. And I'm still managing it, but it's only getting harder every day. And I think I can alleviate some of that by be like, well, try me on a live stream. We'll try and talk with more of you, try to address more questions, that type of thing. And then obviously you guys have seen that we're doing the 3-minute Thursdays. That's where I'm taking a question that I get asked maybe 3 times a day. And then I go, okay, let me make a video on that. So hopefully it will reduce it to 2 times a day, because 1 out of 3 of those people are like, let's see if he's got a video on that first. So yeah, it's all in a goal to keep scaling, keep it manageable, that type of thing. The goals I have for the community, my goal is to get to 1,000 patrons, and that is so that if I have 1,000 patrons, that means 1,000 people are participating in Patreon, and 2,000 other people are getting some funds to do things with as well. And I think that will help. If I'm trying to find a way to help more people, if we can get some more people, some more dollars, they'll be able to help more people. And so it scales me out, and it will provide the dollars to those who, I guess I'm going to say, deserve it. So like if you're out there hustling, trying to make content, interacting with your viewers, they're going to be more likely to go, hey, I'll pledge $1 to you while you're doing that. And so yeah, I'm hoping that will expand as well. We made it to about 253 so far today.
Sweet.
So that's in the first, what did we launch that, like 3 months ago? I feel like
I think
maybe
so.
even less.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, is to expand that up to at least 1,000 and really just keep building structure in the community as much as we can. And that's, I want to downscale a little bit how much live streaming I'm doing lately and upscale more videos too. Because I think last week we did 7 I was on 7 live streams.
You did 2 a day basically when Joel's here.
When Joel's here, I do like 2 a day. I was on Susan's. We had our own shows.
Yeah. And sometimes you do 2-hour ones.
Right. So I did like 10 hours of live streaming last week. And not everyone gets to see it because they're not following all these channels and that type of stuff. But it left less time for video making. We still made our video schedules and it's still coming out. But less time to do more creative. Let's try that. Oh, it wasn't so good. Maybe we'll, maybe we'll try something else. Because I definitely know there's like some skits and stuff like that we want to try out. I
saw it on the whiteboard over there.
Yeah. I thought, and there's some little commercial things I want to do, that type of thing. So Life is Fishy asks, can you only donate $1 on Patreon, Cory? Well, technically you can donate as many dollars as you want. You could pledge up, $100. But I'm only asking you guys to do $3 and not to me. Like $1 to me, let's say, because it's kind of one of those things like, well, with that $1 I can help promote more, that type of thing, whatever. But then, like, if you're gonna donate Cory, or Aquarium Co-op, or me and Joe, or me and Jimmy, $3, we'd prefer it if you donated $1 to us, and then like $1 to another creator and $1 to another creator, or even if you don't like us at all, donate to 3 other creators. That's what we're, if 100,000 people right now we're spending $3 a month, that'd be $300,000. We would get like blockbuster movies out of these channels every month. It would be really cool, and not that everyone, and I've talked to plenty of people that don't have $1 or whatever. It's cool. It's not one of those things like you're not any less for not donating, that type of thing. You can buy from the store. There's lots of ways you can share. You can just be in the chat right now and participate. But if it's the difference between you having the 7th latte of the week or funding 5 creators for the month, maybe we do 5 creators. That's all I'm saying. We have a super chat from the first one we got. First super chat of the day, I got to scroll way up, was from Connor Bishop for £1. Give you the pound sign. Boom. Thanks, buddy. And then we have Glass Boxes from New Zealand. NZ. Happy New Year to the entire co-op team, which is a lot of people. The Aquarium co-op is already the best, so it will be fun to watch the whole new scene level up. That's the goal. We're just trying to do what we do and do it a little bit better, and then do it a little bit better, and then do it a little bit better. I feel like we really failed you guys this last week, and it was, I think, there's too much on the plate. We ran out of a bunch of things. So the good news is you guys bought an insane amount of stuff on Christmas. Super good, right? And I thought I had enough supplies. I was forecasting based on what we did last year, and we did 2.5 times as much this year, and I only planned on twice as much. I was like, well, it's unlikely that we would just straight up double that day's worth of sales, so I'll just buy double the supplies, and then we'll be fine. Well, you guys bought 2.5 times, which is amazing, but we fell short on a few heat packs and like some boxes and some, what else was it? Oh, and Easy Green pumps. There is a myriad of problems going on with shipping right now.
Yeah,
it's
when
out
I
of
went
control.
to the warehouse, there was plants inside boxes, but none of those boxes are going out because I'm pretty sure most of those boxes have Easy Green, and there's no pumps for the Easy Green.
Well, with those ones, the ones that you saw there, that's in the morning they pack plants and they put it in a box and they label them.
Yeah.
And then they pull the plants they need for the orders. So it's easier to pack like 20 Anubias at once than walk back and forth to go get 20 Anubias one at a time.
Yeah. So there's an email that's going out that's telling everybody there's a delay.
Yeah, there is a delay, and it's one of those things we've been buying overnight shipping left and right, and they're just getting delayed. So much so that my manager Robert told me today that he's like, well, there's no plants sitting at Southwest Cargo for us. But we paid to put them on a plane yesterday.
Yeah.
They should be here today, and the tracking number says
He
they
went
still.
down there?
I don't know if he went down there, but
okay.
at least he knows. He called them, and they were supposed to, like, they haven't even gotten on a plane to come here yet. So that we're in limbo now. It's like, oh, I wonder, are they going to come tomorrow?
Yeah.
And then it's one of those crazy things like, if they don't come tomorrow, are they open on Monday? So it's just, that's been hitting me. That hit me like 6 times yesterday. That type of problem.
So
Very stressful day yesterday.
Justin was hoping that since you guys launched that email, maybe some people will email back like, oh, I still have my pump from my old one, so can you just send me the bottle?
Oh, there's that too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there is.
There's hoping for some of those because there's some emails that he got yesterday that are like, if it doesn't get out by this time, can you just refund my order? We're just like,
Sure. Yeah, I mean, we can refund it. It's just one of those. There's literally nothing we can do about it. So, like for heat packs, I had 400 heat packs in stock, and we ran through them. And so I bought 100 heat packs from three different sources, and just say like, hey, race to get my business. Send them all as fast as possible. And so lots of heat packs are on the way, but it's just, what can you do? We didn't know it was going to be like the coldest winter ever, and then on top of that we were going to sell more than we could project. And so we try and do what we can do. And yeah, so we did. I feel like we failed, but we admit our failure. We'll make it up to you. I believe currently I had Robert today print out like 36 gift cards. Every order that's been delayed is getting a gift card. So if your order hasn't shipped yet, it will ship with a gift card in it.
that's insane. That's
'Cause
awesome.
we have. Well, we don't
I would
have
love
to,
that
but,
if I was, that I was your customer. So we got a super chat from Michael Patrick, $5. Is it okay to rinse an intake sponge filter in tap water for an established tank? Is that not similar to replacing socks or floss in a sump?
It is similar, yeah. You could argue all day long on whether you should do it, shouldn't do it, that type of thing. I'll say this. I do it. I have very little chlorine in my water, but what I wouldn't do is I probably wouldn't, like, let's say you had an intake sponge on your Aqua Clear. I wouldn't go clean that at the sink and then take the sponges out of your hang-on back and go clean that at the sink and then do your water change and do your gravel vac and replace your filter floss all in the same day. Like, that's going to upset so much of the bacteria. But let's say you just went and washed your intake under lukewarm water today and then 3 days later, you do that to the back sponge. The intake sponge is probably reseeded full of bacteria if it lost any. If we don't know for sure if it does. Bacteria is pretty hardy. There's a lot of people that wash all their sponges that way and say they never have a problem. There's a lot of people that said I did it once and then my tank crashed. But in my experience, I haven't had problems. That being said, like a store I worked at, we had to do them all with only tank water. And for a lot of times, if you're going to do a tank maintenance, like let's say you're already changing the water in your aquarium, I definitely would reuse some of that water to clean the sponge because we're just saving water then. But if it was like, oh man, my tank's a little bit cloudy, I bet you that sponge is getting a little full. I'm going to go clean that, pop it back on because I got people coming over tomorrow. Then that's a different kind of use case. And that makes sense to do that in a sink, I think. So let's see. Yeah, so Manny said, you never need to send me a pump. I'm always recycling the pumps in use. That even brought up a good point. Like I'd never thought about that till now. Mm-hmm. We sell like the 2 liter, the gallon, all that kind of stuff. But I wonder, and I got to look into my website capabilities. I wonder if we can put an option on the Easy Green that you click a button to say, don't ship me a pump. But then it's more difficult than that because then I need that option to show up in the packing software for the packer because they're going to default like, oh yeah, Easy Green gets a pump. Yeah. But if it doesn't say don't put a pump in, they're just going to send a pump, and then people will be angry. Like I clicked the button to say don't send me a pump, and then they get a pump. But yeah, we might be able to save a bunch of pumps and a bunch of. It's not really going to save that much money, but it will save a bunch of the environment. Because we'll still have to buy the pumps, and it's going to get weird tracking them because, we have 1,000 bottles of Easy Green, but we only sent out 926 bottles with the pump, so we have this many left. And over time, that's going to get real out of whack. But eventually, we will be like, yeah, order 1,000 less type of thing. So, how did you get into the hobby, Jimmy? Because we have a super chat from Death of Legacy. I hope Death of Legacy is legacy as in Magic the Gathering.
Oh, you're such a nerd.
I am such
but
a
I
nerd.
am too. So, how I got into the hobby? I remember my dad having a 100-gallon fish tank. It was the weirdest fish tank I've ever seen. It was like a big, tall one, but it was a big round, and it bulged out like a belly.
Only on one side or both sides?
One side.
So it's one of the bubble tanks.
Yeah, bubble tank. So he got inside there, started cleaning. He kept a arowana. And on the other side of the room, I had a small 20-gallon with newts.
Okay.
So those newts died, and fast forward maybe 15 to 20 years later, I started watching. I forgot who I was watching, but they had a lot of cool shrimp, and I wanted tanks to go with the shrimp because the shrimp doesn't really disturb anything. So I wanted cool aquascape, so I started Googling that, and saw those crazy Japanese and Dutch tanks. And
who was the first YouTuber you fell in love with? Because I know it wasn't me, but let's say you had to have stumbled upon someone and you're like, oh, I'm gonna binge watch. Was it that guy that was always filming with his phone in 4K?
No.
No.
This is probably way before 4K.
Most
likely.
See, I was assuming it was like a year and a half ago.
No.
Way.
Well, but remember, I told you I started keeping shrimp maybe 6 years ago or something like that.
Oh.
When I first moved to Ohio. So.
Okay.
It was probably Dustin's fish tanks.
Yeah, because 6 years ago there wasn't that many fish YouTubers.
It was probably Dustin, and then I saw the Rick.
Oh yeah.
The Rick, and of course Joey. Because I started doing the do-yourself CO2s. So.
All right.
Screw on to there. So how about you?
I got started from a buddy that, he had a 72-gallon bow front that was planted, and it was super cool to me because it was planted and had all these tetras in it. And it was cool because I would watch it. I'd be at his house, and we'd be like playing board games or Magic. Probably we were actually playing Magic. Let's be real. And one day we were sitting on the couch, and I finally asked how much work is this thing? Because I was over at his house quite a bit, and I never saw him work on it ever. And he's like, "Oh, no work at all. Almost no work. The plants are eating the the nitrates and all that. Well, he didn't say nitrates, but
Wait,
the
let me get
waste."
this straight, because I put it kind of together.
You just realized? Yeah, Ben. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You've been to his house.
Yeah, I've been to his
Yeah.
house. But I've
He
never
used
seen
to
a fish
have
tank, so that's
a
why.
lot of fish tanks.
Oh, he.
Well, he used to have one, and then I got into it, and then he had a lot, just like I had a lot, and now he has none
Why?
because he's got kids now.
Okay.
He burned out.
Yeah.
The problem is like I took his passion and then took it 10,000 levels higher, ended up burning him out because he had tanks at home and then he had tanks in his office, and he was breeding stuff and all that kind of stuff was going on, and then I was doing the same thing, and we were just fish all the time, all day long, and I worked at a fish store, and so
Has he ever apologized to you or anything? Like, sorry, man.
no, if anything, he's
He
like,
should- you should be
he's
thinking of
like,
that.
yeah, he's like, oh man, your whole business, blah, blah. It's not like
Yeah.
he's taking credit or anything, but like it started there for sure.
Okay.
It started, I was sitting on his couch, and the wall that tank was on is no longer in his house. They removed that wall. So next time we
Oh.
go over there, I'll show you, and I'll be like, it was right here. So, but yeah, so that's how I got started. Is I fell in love with it, and then I got a 65-gallon aquarium. We went to Jones & Co. back before they moved in Washington, and I spent like $900 because I got the stand, the tank, the tops, the double T8 bulb light. So oh yeah, upgrade. Bought a Python that day. Bought the canister filter.
Was that your first biggest tank?
That was my first aquarium ever.
Oh, okay, ever.
But Ben was with me, and he was like, "Yeah, just buy a big one. You're gonna want a big one already." And he's like, "Just buy the Python. You're gonna want one. Just buy the canister. Just go ahead and buy the better light."
Wow.
And so I was buying everything like full retail.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to make all the mistakes of like, oh, let me buy this kind of ghetto thing, and then be like, oh, I have to upgrade. I have to upgrade. I have to upgrade. I have to upgrade. And so I ended up upgrading. I think the only thing I had to well, I didn't have to. The only thing I chose to upgrade on that tank was the lighting. I went insane, and I got H Supply 96 watt power compacts, and there was 2 of them, and it lit up my bedroom. The neighbors had to have been thinking we were growing like pot or something, because it like at night the blinds just lit up. But we grew so many plants in that tank. It was
Wow.
crazy. I remember spending like $200 on that light, and it was way too powerful. Way too powerful.
What
But
did
I
he
was.
keep?
What did he keep?
Yeah.
In,
mainly.
in the first tank?
Like as in general, like what was his favorite fish?
His favorite fish, in general, was frontosas.
Oh, okay. He's a sickle.
So at work, he had a 180-gallon bow front with
Wow.
frontosas, clown loaches. Trying to think of what else, like some juraparis, just because they sand sift. He needed fish that like clients would be like, dang, that's a big, cool looking fish. And then at home, he had a bunch of tetras. He had a Brichardi tank that was really cool. The albino cribs in the living room right now. Those are
from him?
his. That's how I know they're a breeding pair, because they were breeding all the time in a 90-gallon cube that we had in his kitchen.
Okay.
So
If you're wondering why I'm asking Cory so many of these questions, because I actually been to Ben's house and we go play
That's
board
where
games
game
over
night
there.
is.
That's
Yeah.
where game night is.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just you guys never talk about fishes or anything like that.
we don't.
Never talk about business. We just get straight to gaming.
Well, yeah, that's.
But it's just
'cause
interesting to
'cause there's
know
other
that
people
he
there.
has his background of
Yeah.
fish with him.
No one else that shows up besides me and you.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. A couple other people, but they're not nearly into fish. So
Okay.
let's see here. LG3 Nation. I'm going to try not to send any super chats during the whole live stream today. Good luck. Good luck. I thought you were going to say the whole year, and I was kind of bummed. I was like, oh, dang.
wouldn't be the same.
Yeah, I know, right? It's without an LG3 Nation. Usually it's Daryl Dimer, LG3 Nation, Caroline Epler lately.
I wonder if LG3 Nation is his the cell phone. There's like a big cell phone group that he's in, or
I don't know.
LG
Yeah, where
is
does
probably his
LG3
name.
Nation
where does this
come
name
from?
come from? So Nathan Adam with a $10 super chat. You can read that.
Grow your beard back, brother. Maybe. I mean, I go through phases of like, yeah, I want a beard, and then I'm like, no, I don't want a beard, and then I want a beard. I just do what I want to do. Like it's, no one's gonna sway me. Like, oh, now I'm gonna grow a beard. It'll just be like one day I'll be like, no, I'm gonna grow a beard. Why? I don't know. I'm gonna grow a beard.
Yeah.
Like half of me was like, maybe I'll grow one for Peru. Less bugs bite me in the face.
Or more
or
bugs.
more bugs hiding in my
hiding it.
beard. Yeah, I don't know yet. I'll talk to some people that have beards and be like, is it pro or con over there?
Seems to be a con.
Oh yeah, from your time in the Amazon.
Oh yeah. I go there all the time.
Yeah.
You just don't know. So
Yeah.
Arrow2582 says, thanks for having the best employees ever, visiting Baton Rouge and bought fish at the shop. They went above and beyond to get them flight ready. Made it through TSA with no hassle. Waiting
Nice.
to board.
Good. Who was that, Caitlin?
Arrow2582.
Yeah, okay. I think I saw the Facebook message come through right before we went live. I didn't get a chance to read it yet, though.
Okay.
Carson, what was it? Carson Anderson? Carson was asking if I'm going to be at the shop later today. That is a definite nope.
I might
right
have
after
to go
this,
back.
you have to go back?
I might have to.
What, film more fish?
So, I went back there to feed Murphy
Yeah.
for the unboxing, and I had plugged the mic in here, the Rode mic.
You plugged it
And-
into the...
I plugged in the hole, the
Yeah.
mic hole.
Yeah.
No sound came out of it.
You didn't mic yourself up?
I didn't mic myself up.
Come on, Jimmy.
I was like-
Isn't the rule always two
Yeah,
sources of
two
audio?
sources, but I was like, I trust this because it's worked for me before.
Oh,
That's the first time
Jimmy.
it's failed, so I might have to
So-
go back.
We've already been talking about... Well, let me finish why I'm not going to be there. Today, what is today? Today is Saturday. I have a business call I have to take right after the live stream. Basically, so there's some changes going on with the root tabs, and we got to plan the new thing, and it's a big thing I got to figure out, because otherwise we're going to run out of root tabs, and there's going to be none for sale. So I got to hammer that out. The good news is, in theory, you're going to get 3 times as much product, same price. A lot of good things are happening. But I got to hammer out the details and make sure that, the price doesn't go up or that quality goes down or things like that. So I got to get on the phone with someone and just make sure we're all seeing eye to eye to eye to eye to eye on that. And then right after that, we have to get the last of the tanks broken down. That's the goal today. I could see it. Jimmy's like, oh no, that's today. So there's 1 rack of tanks, and they've all got to come down today so that we're ready to build on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Because you're shooting your movie tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm shooting half of the video
so we can't do it tomorrow. So it
Yeah.
has to be done today.
Well, it's not so bad because
Most of
these
the fish
are big tanks.
Yeah, we got to break down a lot
The other
of
ones
the
were
75s
a lot
and
of
100
small
gallon
tanks and a lot of moving back and forth, back and forth.
But we got to do a lot of filming with. We got to move like Ladybird.
Right.
You know, we
we
gotta move a
gotta
lot.
film that.
Yeah,
People
Ladybird's
are
coming around.
People want to know. I want to know how you do this.
Ladybird's coming around. Ladybird is eating clams and loving life. So I'm really hoping she takes the transition well, and that's my biggest fear actually is like moving everything. Like whenever you move your entire room, stuff gets sick. Like I can't even explain. And we've tested the water and everything. We moved blood parrots into the new 125. We moved them from 100 gallon to a 125, and they're scared, really scared, like hiding, don't want to eat. But like the corridoras in the tank are doing fine. Everything else in the tank is loving life. The only thing I can think of is they went from a tank that was eye level to now they're down low. And when we walk by, they're like, oh my God, there's sharks out there or something. And so they're hiding the whole time. So they got to get used to it. But whenever you move all of the fish that you own, then if we move 10 tanks of fish, one's going to get sick. Something's going to happen. And the problem is the only tanks we have left right now are all my prized possessions.
Yes.
You got ladybirds, leopard frog colony,
yeah.
best guppies in the world, L397s. What else do we have? We've got German Berlin buttercup guppies. We've got 2 tanks of the mini turtles. You've got my platies that I love. 2 strains, really. So there's all these things that like kind of aren't replaceable, and I already know like you move all of those, something's gonna go wrong. Like I'm afraid that even though Ladybird lived with like neon tetras and all this stuff all the time, I'm gonna move my platies I like, and she's gonna go on a murdering spree. Like, oh, I got this new big tank. I'm so angry, I had to move, and then bite him in half or something. I don't think so, but I don't want to.
Are you escaping the tank that Ladybird goes in first, or are you gonna just throw her in there? And
No,
then
we just got to move all the fish.
Okay.
We got to move all the fish, and then we can film and do here's how I'm setting up this tank and all that kind of stuff. So right now we got filters going. We got the air stones in. We've got a little bit of substrate. We're going to be moving some sponges across just so that we bring bacteria with them and things like that. But we need to take much longer to be like, all right, here's how we're going to set up this whole thing. Like I moved 2 turtles across. They're in their tank. doing the little turtle thing. They got a dock in there, but I need to go buy the correct light that I want for it. And while I'm setting it up, I need to move the canister filter. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of musical equipment and fish and chairs going on. And so that's like the entire rest of the day. So that's why I stayed in here till like 10 o'clock last night, just filling the tanks and getting filtration going so that at least they would be fully gassed off and stuff like that for moving stuff today. So it's a lot to do. So, yeah. Zach's crazy. I always say Zach's crazy. Zach's Tank's crazy aquarium guy with 10 SEKs.
Sweet.
I was gonna say dollars. They're not dollars, but I think they're Swedish crowns.
Yeah, Swedish crowns.
With 20 crowns. Thank you. Kyle's Wild World here is to finishing the new studio and getting amazing people in there to talk fish. Yeah.
I'm excited.
I've lined up some, like not dates yet, but I have emailed some people that are, in my opinion, high up in the industry. Not high up YouTubers, high up in the industry, because I think those are some of the best opinions we can get on the show. Is like, if I bring on a YouTuber, you're like, oh yeah, I watched their channel, I know what they already have to say. But when you bring someone from, a fish farm or organization or something like that, all of a sudden you're like, oh, we've never seen them on YouTube before or something like that. Then it's like, oh, that was interesting. That's different. So, yeah. So I saw, before I forget, I saw someone say we could sell the Easy Green refill bottle. So that would work. Well, it has the same barcode though. But basically, so we'd have like Easy Green normal. We'd have Easy Green refill. We'd have the 2 liter, and we'd have the 1 gallon.
What's the difference between a refill and the regular bottle?
The refill wouldn't come with the pump.
Oh yeah.
So I could see
instead of selling it at, okay.
I could see how, but at the same time on the packer station, we'd have to like make some crazy picture that had like a big like red arrow through it, like no pump, don't put the pump, type of deal. Because it would have the same barcode.
That's easy.
Usually, that's how we keep everything straight. Is everything gets barcoded. And when you scan it, if it goes, that's not the right barcode, you go, oh, supposed to be Easy Green Nano, not Easy Green. So, yeah.
Sounds like a good idea.
Audrey Fisher with the $5 super chat. You guys rock. My plants grow well because nitrates is 20 ppm right out of the tap, but could I still benefit from Easy Green? Really want to try it. Hard to say. Probably. Because it's going to bring a lot of micronutrients and stuff like that into the water for you, and you might get like better reds and less veining going on there. But you probably would want to dose like less. So if you had a 55-gallon tank, maybe you do like 2 pumps of Easy Green per week instead of 5. Depends on how many plants you got going. Depends what type of plants you're going. For sure, you'd probably benefit from some Easy Iron. So that's probably an easy one right there. But without knowing more about your water structure, it's hard to know exactly how much Easy Green will help you. Because the main benefit is nitrogen. That's the biggest thing in all aquarium fertilizers. But then there's potassium and phosphates and micro trace elements and all that kind of stuff. So it probably would help, but you want to make sure you don't go way too high up on that nitrates. So,
Chage Baker says, whatever happened to KG Tropicals? Is he done making videos?
I wished him a Merry Christmas, but I didn't probe. So like I was like, hey man, Merry Christmas. He's like, yeah, I just finished up Christmas dinner and stuff like that. And you don't want to be like, oh, the only time I ever check in, be like, are you gonna do videos or what? So I was, oh man, hope things are going well, blah blah blah. And that's how I do it. And if they want to be like, yeah man, I'm totally coming back to make videos, then I would be in the know. But I don't want to, like, obviously he knows I'm a YouTuber and he's a YouTuber. If he wanted to talk about videos, we would talk about it. But instead, we just, oh yeah, wish your family, good holiday and all that kind of stuff. So the answer is, I don't know. I don't know if he's coming back. He might be coming back with a vengeance. Maybe he's got 7,000 videos ready to go. Maybe he's not. I have no idea at this point. I hope so. They're always welcome back, So don't know. But maybe I can convince him to come back and then like get him on the show. Be like, he's back. He's back and he's in the studio.
Yeah, I miss John.
But I know he was trying to buy a house or move or whatever. Like that was the last update he did, was like, we got big things going on. And so I don't know. I didn't ask him like, are you done doing the big things or is it just starting? Or yeah, I have no idea. He could be watching right now for all I know. Brianna Raker Hi, any suggestions on tetras and bottom dwellers for my 20-gallon planted marble angelfish tank? I would go with a group of Corydoras on the bottom because the angels won't be able to eat them. And then in terms of a schooling fish mid-water, you want something that the angels aren't going to slurp down also, because they're going to feel enclosed in that small space as they grow, and they're going to get more and more territorial. I might try something like, I want something that's not going to be too nippy on them, but I would do black neon tetras. They get a deeper body to them, and they're super peaceful. Like, they're not going to harm them. So I would do that. I would get black neon tetras, get yourself like some stir-bite Corydoras, keep those marble angelfish. And then you probably already know, but angels get fairly large, and you're probably going, oh yeah, well, for my birthday I'm going to get a 55-gallon or something like that, and you can go from there. You got a good base to build on when you bring those with you. So
Jeff says, "Why is your camera quality so good?"
Oh, Team Crispy. Yes.
Michelle Angel says, "So I have a question. Is there a big difference between liquid fertilizer and dry fertilizer?"
Is there a big difference? Is that what you said?
Big difference.
No. The biggest difference is that in a liquid fertilizer, a company like myself have measured out the doses we think you will do best with. Or, that's not true. We have measured out fertilizers that we think the target customer will do best with. So something like Seachem's comprehensive, it's a liquid fertilizer, but it's meant to be like anyone in the world could pull it off of a Petco shelf, take it home, and it won't kill their Oscars. That is the goal, is that anyone could use it, and it would, technically it helps, but practically it doesn't help that much. Whereas like my fertilizer, if you take it home, you just start pumping into your Oscar tank, that's not going to be good. But you're not my target demographic either. My target demographic is I'm new to plants, or I want something very easy. I want low maintenance, low headache, something very easy. That is what Easy Green does. Where dry fertilizers are for someone, let's say you had a store like me and a building filled with fish tanks, and you're not making much money doing that, and you need to cut down on cost. Dry ferts work well. And then if you really want to tweak the fertilizers to your tank, now, in my estimation, that is like you making your own potting soils and things like that for your garden. Some people can do that. They're really in touch with their garden, really in touch with their plants. They've been doing these types of plants for 30 years, and it really makes sense for them. But the average person like me goes, oh, I want to put in a rose. Oh, sweet, they got rose fertilizer? Yeah, I bet you that's pretty good compared to me going, I'm going to put a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of that, and hopefully that works. It's just easier for me to go, oh yeah, I'm going to buy the rose fertilizer. And then, oh, we're doing African violets in the house? Sure, let's get some of that substrate. Like, it's a skip in, you're basically buying someone else's expertise usually when you're buying the liquid form, and in the dry form, you're buying raw ingredients, and you save money. If you needed like to treat 100,000 gallons of water, you'll save money buying dry ferts. Mm-hmm. If you only need to treat 55 gallons, you probably save money buying a liquid fertilizer because it's $20, whereas all those fertilizers was still $60 or something. So, yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about how to use Easy Carbon and get rid of hair algae? Do I dose carbon instead of Easy Green? How does Easy Carbon fight to work off algae?
Well, it mutates genes, and because algae is a single-celled organism, it slows down the reproduction. So usually what we're trying to do is we're trying to slow down the reproduction and have the animals be in there start eating it and get the plants growing better so that eventually it's not a good environment for algae to be growing. You can spot treat it with a syringe. You can just kind of overdose it in the aquarium. I would start with lowly dosing and slowly increase over time until you start going, hey, I think the algae is a little bit worse this week. And then to stop at that level and let it slowly get worse. A lot of times we're trying to go, it took a year for the algae to grow. I want to get rid of it. I need it to be gone tomorrow. And it's way safer to have it start tapering down than go, boom, we killed it all, and now I got an ammonia spike or something like that. You would use it in conjunction with something like Easy Green because you want your plants to still be growing really well. So think of Easy Green is the food for the plants, and then think of for lack of a better way to put this is just a different analogy. So if the Easy Green is the food, Easy Carbon is the soap you're going to use to clean the plates and all that. Like, okay, so this is what's left over. Oh, geez, let's get that. We don't want this hair algae and that kind of stuff. We don't want this mold, and we're going to use this to clean that off. But if you use way too much soap, it's a things got to live in there, so it's not good. So think of it like, oh, the algicide is used to clean up kind of after we've dosed our fertilizers, and algae is a result of we didn't get things quite right. So, we made 2 turkeys. We only needed half a turkey for Thanksgiving. Oh, that's a problem. Same thing goes on in the aquarium. So,
Okay, we got super chat from Ted Scott, $5. Just sell the pump separately. Include a pump with a bottle as a checkbox. That way, we can also just buy a pump for possibly nefarious purposes.
we could do that. Most people, unless you've run like an e-commerce website and a warehouse with different packing software and teams of people, something very easy that you implement, if everyone's not on the same page and things don't work flawlessly, and one of the biggest hurdles is that the customers use the site correctly. Because what you think is super easy, because I coded in like, yeah, everyone's gonna get that. Then you realize, from your phone, they just click the first option. And the one without the pump is the first thing. And now we're fielding 10 emails a day like, I didn't get a pump. Like, well, you didn't order a pump. And so here's a perfect example. Every week, there's like 5 people that contact us and be like, I ordered a small t-shirt. I need a 3XL or whatever. And it's just because they're ordering the default smallest one. Like they're just clicking buttons too fast. And so... we're in a weird situation. Like, well, that's not really our fault that you ordered the wrong size. Like, it's one thing to be like, I ordered a large, actually I needed a medium. It's another thing to be like, I ordered a small, I needed a 2XL. Like, that's not oops, it's the wrong size. That's literally like, okay, you really were going fast there. And so most times we'll be like, well, can you order anything else? Like, you got to ship that shirt back. We'll ship this one out. But we're already, and part of the problem is now, especially with the Easy Green, it's like, well, we already gave away all of our profit by giving you Easy Green. So us shipping out another shirt, now we're literally just losing lots of money because you got to ship it back. We got to ship out another shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's, and part of the problem is you're going, well, how often does that happen? It's like, well, on average, we get a few thousand people shopping the website every day. And so if 1 out of 500 people make that mistake, it's like, that happens 2 or 3 times a day. So, and it's not always on the same items, but that's the scale of like, you make one implementation. It's like, oh geez, what have we done?
So Johan Fastberg, $50 Swedish crowns.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ruin this.
I'll read it then.
Okay.
The roots and stems of Rotala wallacei is turning black and slowly killing the plant. What am I doing wrong? Other plants are thriving. So a lot of times with Rotalas, they grow up big and bushy. And because they bush out, light doesn't get to them. So light comes down from the top in our aquariums most often, just straight down. And because they get bushy, all the leaves down below and the stems don't get any light. They're not photosynthesizing and they get weak. So what you might find is like spreading the stems out would help, cutting them and starting new starts and seeing if those ones start coming back. All those types of things would be a good idea. That is the main... The other thing is you could have plants that are really just out competing it. Like let's say you had a bunch of hornwort or kabamba, something really fast growing. It could be just adding more fertilizer is going to help you without seeing the tank, knowing the water parameters, and knowing like your water change and dosing schedule. Without knowing all that, it's hard to fine tune. But those are the parts I would start. Start with seeing if it's getting crowded. That's what happens with a lot of like Rotalas and Ludowigias. Just stem plants in general tend to shade themselves out. So, yeah. How's my lungfish doing? I don't own a lungfish.
That was Dean.
Dean owns a lungfish. He's probably trolling me right now. You are probably Bat B probably is Dean, and he's probably like,
Hi,
"You
Dean.
ready for that lungfish?" Ha ha.
I can't wait for him to be on the stream.
Yeah. Can I dose 1 pump of Easy Green daily instead of 3 pumps twice a week? Yeah. Yep. I'll be doing some videos on like setting up a dosing pump and stuff like that because I know you guys, you're like, yes, you've been saying that. I got to do it on the 800 gallon. I want to do it on the wife's tank. I've got the controllers. I just don't have the time. I haven't found the time yet, but I will. I promise you. One day I will.
So Jen asked earlier, is there difference in potency with the Nano and the regular size Easy Green?
Yeah, Nano is 10 times less potent. So one pump treats 1 gallon, whereas one pump treats 10 gallons with Easy Green. So we basically diluted it down tenfold. And I already realized the internet's like, oh, that's a ripoff. Like, no. I was not doing that. And then everyone's like, no, you really need to do that because I don't want to do it. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do it. But you can't yell at me for selling it for 10 times less fertilizer, because the cost in fertilizer is mostly shipping it a couple of times. I got to get it shipped to me. I got to ship it back out to you. There's the bottles. The bottles have to get shipped to a company. So like whether there's liquid in that bottle or not, it takes up a lot of space. So it's like one shipping there, company fills it, ships it to me. That's the second shipping. Then I ship it back out to you. That's the third shipping. And then there's the pump heads. We buy quality pump heads. Those aren't cheap. And there's labels. And so a lot of it comes from that. So when people are like, if it's 10 times less fertilizer, shouldn't it be 10 times cheaper? It's like, in a perfect world, definitely. But unfortunately, no. It's just one of those things. And I didn't carry it for a long time. We don't even sell that much of it. But for the people that do use it, they really love it. So that's the good news, I suppose.
So Jessica Day says, I watch you cycle your tanks with plants. Are there some plants that are better than others at this, for example, for fast-growing plants compared to slow plants?
I don't think so. Because I think mostly you just want some plant growth and you want to introduce bacteria. Most times when I start my tanks, I start them with Crips and Anubias, because that's just what I like. So I guess the real answer is I start with the plants that I want to have in the aquarium. I don't really think about, is this one going to grow faster or not faster? A lot of times, if I have a plant over in a tank that I like, I'll be like, oh, let me just put it in this tank. And I'm really just trying to bring the bacteria over and get some life going. I don't care if it's algae. And in fact, in the tanks that we moved algae and all that kind of stuff over, because it's, people always like, but then you're going to have algae. Like, well, yeah, you're going to have algae whether you bring it over or not. It all comes down to how much do you balance that aquarium. Is the tank balanced? The algae will recede. Is it not balanced? It will grow out of control. And so, it's kind of one of those, yeah.
All right, here's a question that'll make a two-parter.
Oh, a twofer?
Do you have any books with your knowledge? And my question is, do you think you'll ever write a book? Maybe not about your knowledge, but about life as owning a store, maybe 20 years from now.
So I don't have any books published. Well, I haven't written any books. That made it sound like I've got books I haven't published yet or something. No, I haven't done anything like that. I have no desire to write a book. Mm-hmm. That being said, if there was ever a point where it's like, oh man, you got to tell this kind of crazy story. Like, what if all of a sudden, like, that's so bizarre. Who would ever thought Cory is the owner of Apple now, or like something ridiculous? Like, obviously that story is going to get told, but I don't really see a need. If anything, I would do, if I was going to do a book, I would just do like a monologue podcast where it's like, all right, here's the thing I want to tell. It's 27 hours long in 27 chapters, and here you go. Because I think, one, I only ever like pretty much read books on tape nowadays. I mean, I do buy books every once in a while, but I just think that's a better format. And it's one of those things that, like, let's say I have a book made and you buy it for $20, I'd make $1. Or I could make that whole thing on audio and charge you $1, and I make the same amount of money, except you paid $1 instead of $20. And there's a lot, in my opinion, there's a lot that goes on into a good book. If I was going to do a book, I would want to have lots of good pictures and all that, and that would be a lot more work than just the spoken word version of it. And then if you're doing one of those things like, well, if you're going to do all these pictures, isn't video just strictly better? And then I'm like, yeah, it is. So then it's like, oh, well, now I should just make a 27-hour movie that's broken into 27 chapters. And then you could be like, well, if you're going to do that, shouldn't it just be like a YouTube Red series? Like, yeah, probably. And so you get down this rabbit hole of like, wait, didn't you just say your 2018 New Year's goal was to work less? Like, yes, that is the goal, is to like free up some time. Because I do find, like, when I went on vacation, freeing up some time allowed my brain some free time to think about new things I wanted to do and that type of thing. And so if I free up some time, that is the best thing I can do to innovate. if you're like, oh, you're not doing anything new, like, oh, because I'm so focused on putting out fires and making sure I don't miss deadlines that I don't have hours to spend like, yeah, what would be cool? What should we do? That's what I do with my free time is I end up going, yeah, what am I going to do? Okay, let's try that. Like the 3 Minute Thursday, one, shamelessly stolen from Peter McKinnon. But
Hi, Peter.
yeah, but I had time to watch Peter McKinnon's videos and enjoy it while I was on vacation.
Oh.
So that was the thing, like,
Watching
this is
it
cool.
without me, bro?
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I could do that. Like, there's so many topics I do want to talk about, but I don't because I don't want to do a whole video about them. But then I'm like, I could do it in 3 minutes. And so I tried a few. There's been some misses where you're like, oh, no one wanted to watch that one. There's been some hits where I'm like, oh, apparently people like that one. And we're working on refining our style and figuring it out. But it's the downtime that I go, yeah, what do I want to work on? Because there's a list of 1,000 things on it. But I don't get to start addressing any of them until I've cleared the list of 100 things that if I don't address those, employees don't get paid, we don't make money, bad things happen. Like, oh, you didn't file taxes this year? Oh, that's going to be a good one. So, like, I'm working on that right now. There's all kinds of that kind of stuff. So,
Yeah, speaking of styles, we have a lot of different styles we can use. Like, and been seeing like a lot of comments like, oh, you changed your style.
mm-hmm.
Like, no, we have this style. We can do this.
There's tons of
It's
stuff we
just-
make, and we're like,
yeah.
yeah, people are going to freak out. We better just not put that
Yeah.
out.
There's a lot of type of editing styles too that we can do, but we're just experimenting still. Even at 100,000 subscribers, or still.
Well, the thing is, I have way more fun making something we haven't done before than, oh, we know this formula works. Let's keep cranking that out.
Yeah, and I have more fun editing them. So
Yeah. So we're playing around and, focus. I want to focus on having more fun, making more time. Like me, you, Vicky, Joel, my wife, her sister, we're all going to the mountains to play in the snow on Monday just as an R&R day.
and you
Somehow,
bet I'm gonna film every
Yeah.
second of that.
somehow all of our days, like my wife had the day off, Joel's girlfriend Vicky had the day off.
Oh, really? Okay.
So that was like, okay. And then
Carly
my wife's
had the day
sister
off.
had the day off.
Yeah.
Those days off like almost never line up. Usually my wife has to work, and then I'm like, well, I gotta work. Like on Christmas, those days lined up, but I worked, right? Like I was on the live stream. So we're gonna we're gonna go up there. We're just gonna have some fun, and we'll film. But it'll probably like that movie. Here's the thing: is like you guys like, oh, you need to do more content. I'll be a part of a movie, I'm sure of it. Except it'll come out on Jimmy's channel
Yeah, it's not gonna be on this channel.
because it'll be about like, look, we're just up in the
Playing in the
mountains
snow.
having fun, And so yeah, it'll be me, it'll be Joel, it'll be Jimmy, it'll be my wife, it'll be all these people, but it won't be about fish. And but that'll be fun, because whenever we do stuff like that, like, oh, that was really cool. We should do that for this fish thing. Like that was a cool transition we used there, or color grading, or we learned this about the camera. So it's yeah. And what I think a lot of people don't realize, and a lot of you guys have been here for a long, long time, so you've seen a lot of videos we've done. But the people that join, like we get 5,000 plus people that join us, every month. They have no idea what we've already done. So people already are like, how come you're not building a fish room? And it's like, no. We
Done.
covered that. We did like 100 episodes on building a
Yeah.
fish room. Like
There's
that's
over 600 videos, right?
Yeah, we're over 600 videos. So that's the thing. It's like, well, why haven't you done this?
Yeah.
Like, what was it the other day where someone was like, what did we do? We did something, and we either did the long form or the short form.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were like, why haven't you done this in
Yeah.
the other form? And then I linked like, well, here's 6 videos of the other form.
Yeah.
And it was obviously that they just didn't know, and that's the thing is like, oh, well, you talked about guppies and it was an hour-long episode. Like, oh, well, here's 5 videos that are like
It was
10
about
minutes or
plants.
less. It was about plants?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something
about
like,
plants.
why haven't I done any videos about growing plants or
Yeah.
something like that? And I'm like,
And like
there's all these videos.
more than half of those 600 videos are like over 30 minutes long. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of information in there. You just have to watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not categorized maybe perfectly because they were long episodes and that type of stuff. But you gotta stay invigorated when you're doing something like this. And like if we want to see like, what about when Cory gets to 1,000 videos? Like, we're gonna run out of topics, so we got to do them in a new way. That's the thing. It's like, okay, well, bring Joel on. Joel, we can have a conversation about it, and we'll run that for a few hundred episodes, and then like, okay, well, let's go visit classrooms or let's go do this. Like, it's, but when you do those things, you find new things too. You're like, oh yeah, we never have talked about that topic. Weird. Okay, let's do that.
So Damien Markham says, make a pop-up scratch and sniff book. Kick it old school, homeboy.
Oh, I would. That would be fun.
It just smells like Rapashi the whole time.
Well, no, yeah. So you'd have the smell of Rapashi, but then you'd be like, yep. And then I learned what it smells like when you're, this is why I heat the room instead of heating a heater, because when the heater fouls or goes wrong, then it cooks the fish and it smells horrible. And you scratch the sniff, you're like, oh, God, that does smell horrible. That would be fun. See, if I'm going to write a book, I'm going to write a Mad Libs.
A Mad Libs.
Yeah, where you're like, Cory went to the fish store to buy We should do that. We should find a way. Cory and Joel's excellent Mad Libs adventure.
And Joel could do the art for it, right?
Yes. And then we'll put it out. 4 people will buy it for $6, and we'll realize it was a horrible idea.
So Daryl Dimer, or it's Deemer.
Deemer. I'm pretty sure I mispronounce it every time.
It's Deemer.
It is Deemer.
He told us personally, in person.
And I apologize. And I know that I'm scatterbrained enough with not enough sleep to know that I'm still going to mispronounce it next week, and I apologize ahead of time. But I think you get that. Otherwise, you wouldn't keep supporting me or us. And
I think he likes to do $20 because it's the same color as his dog, which is a golden doodle.
Yeah.
It's orangey.
He just, I don't know, man. He's
Has a cute
ultra
dog.
supporter. That's all I can say is wicked cool. I appreciate it. And that's how we get crispy video. We buy $200 cameras. We buy $400 microphones. And it's, if there was, I can say this, if there was ever a channel to invest in, the money's coming back into the channel. There's lots of YouTube channels that are making way more money than I am, but their quality of equipment doesn't change. And it's not that they have to. A lot of people, like in business, you look at it and go, well, I'm, like that tool works just fine for my employee. Why would I buy a new tool? Well, because a better tool makes them work a little bit better, and so I just believe in that. So we constantly upgrade stuff and keep making people better. And, if there's, we tested a $2,000 camera system yesterday for the live stream. Capture card, hooking up expensive cameras, and we were able to determine for $2,000, we don't think you guys would even notice a difference. Mm-hmm. We can notice it if we really look at it. We look at skin tones. The skin tones were a bit better. That was good. But for $2,000, we could invest in something else that, would really help out. So, yeah, that $20, it does. We put it right back into the pot of what can we use this for and what can we, make happen. So,
all right, we got Ian Bittner, $5 super chat. Please help. Planted platy tank, fish losing weight, red spots on fins and lethargic.
Oof.
Water parameters good. Any medication tips? Keep up the great work.
So I'd make sure pH is above 7 and you got some hardness in the water. Then I would probably hit them with a round or two of a day. Just make sure that those red spots aren't lesions. And then I would hit them with some general cure and make sure that they don't have internal parasites so we can start building some weight back onto them. That is how I would start attacking that problem. All of those products are plant safe. They're invertebrate safe. So you can pretty much do it in that tank you've got it going on in. And I would start there. Once you've done that, then we can move on from there and go, okay, well, that didn't do it? Oh, dang, what is going on? But that cures so much of the stuff that I think it'd be just absolutely fine. So,
Samuel Amberg said my camera was weird, and I just noticed it was on 4K the whole time. So
were
I
you
was kind of lagging.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Come on, Jimmy, come on.
For such a good episode, too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, the problem is it makes sense because we were comparing that 4K footage to the $2,000 camera 4K
yesterday,
footage.
That's why
So
it was 4K.
we were playing with settings, trying to make it better, and then we forgot to undo settings to make sure that it was perfect for today. So, dang it.
LG3 Nation with the second fail today. He super chatted again. It may be hard to believe, but I can't get duckweed to grow in my 2 tanks now. Could one reason be low nitrites? Any advice? Go and order some again soon. Yeah,
they're definitely a hungry food, or a hungry plant. You want to make sure you have plenty of waste. But sometimes a lot of surface agitation makes it so that it won't grow either. So like if you got a bunch of circulation pumps or a bunch of hang-on backs or a bunch of canister filters and everything's whipping around up there, then that's not a good environment for them. But if you're light on nitrates, they's a hungry. So
They's a hungry.
Yeah, they's a hungry. Make sure you maybe you relax your water change. Let's say you were changing every week, maybe change every 2 weeks, and then maybe give a little bit of fertilizer in there as well. Yeah, it should be a fairly easy to grow plant, but that circulation thing can really throw it for a loop. And then obviously if we don't give it food, makes it hard for them to grow. So
Leanne Stafford with the £5 super chat. Love your live chats.
Pound.
Give me a lot to think about and laugh about while doing water change. Keep it
Good.
up, boys.
Yeah, so one of our metrics, we've all been kind of having a powwow, Jimmy, myself, Joel, and we've decided we're not here to please everyone. We're here to put on what pleases us, and then if you guys like it, come hang out. Which doesn't really, that's not really going to change what I do much. Like, I've pretty much always done that. But if we change our way of thinking of, instead of trying to please everyone, we try to make the thing that we think is the best, and then people will either like it or not like it. And that's probably what's been going on anyway. But in my mind, I've been thinking like, oh God, these people don't like me. How could I make them like me? Instead, I just need to be like, yeah, they don't like me. But all these people do like what we're doing. I focus on, so if I have 100,000 subscribers, I focus on like, why don't I have 1 million? Instead of focusing on like, I have 100,000. Like, and that seems like I just said the same thing, but I focus on the 900,000 I'm missing instead of the 100,000 that I have. So it's a weird thing. So no matter what, no matter how high that count ever goes, I'm constantly thinking like, well, what about all those other people that don't like me? How do I change what I do to make them like me? Do I need to provide some saltwater content? Do I need to do that? Do I need to do this?
Saltwater?
That's right. So instead we're just focused on like, hey, let's do what we want to do. And sometimes it's going to be talking about cars and stuff like that on Real Fish Talk because that's super fun. And then either A, people will like it or they won't. And then we'll go from there. If I go out of business, we're like, dang it, that was a bad idea. But we're getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people that are like, no, I like it. We like, some of the best things I know. We've had people learning about subjects that aren't about fish. They're related in some way, but they're excited to show up and hang out and just learn. Just like me and Joel are excited. We're excited to learn about stuff. And so it's changing from, we talk about fish, but we also just want to learn. Like I learned a bunch about chickens the other day and that kind of stuff. Why? Because it's interesting. And long term, I do want to have chickens going to the bathroom over a pond, which those pond fish, then the water gets circulated through some vegetables, and then those zucchinis come in and feed my clown loaches. Like that, it does relate back to fish. It's just in a real roundabout way. But when you learn about those kind of things, I can implement it to what I do anyway. So,
there's 3 things I have to get out of the way real quick.
get them out of the way.
So Dank Tanks asks, how would I go about sending full res videos to Bob without it compressing over an email? I would just use Google Drive. They give
you
15,
need some
15
or
gigabytes for free.
Dropbox or
So do it through there. Another one is, Jimmy, please read my comment to Cory, which is Zach's Tank's Crazy Aquarium guy. I want to see if he remembers. It's right underneath I'm going to look for that
All right,
comment right now while you read
that.
this super chat.
Okay. Melissa Byers. Hi guys, today is my hubby's birthday and I'm ditching him at the moment to listen to the Fish Talk again. Happy New Year's and thank you for all you do. You're
Thanks,
good
Melissa.
at that because for your birthday you came and saw me in Youngstown, I believe. Yeah, because for your birthday you did that and your husband let you, and now on his birthday you're listening to me. I have a feeling if I ever meet your husband, he's gonna have some words for him. He'll be like, "Hey man, you've been ruining holidays for years." No, but thanks for the super chat and thanks for hanging out. Hopefully it's just a little lull in your day and you're like, you're waiting for whatever the next awesome thing to happen today is. That's what I use live streams for. I don't know about you guys, but I'm always like, oh yeah, I got 20 minutes to kill. Oh, what's this person talking about? And then I'm like, oh, I gotta go do my thing. But it fills in the time for me. That's what I do. We've got Steve Scogland, $5. How's the camera fund coming along? The camera fund is doing okay. We're in the position to buy a camera, so that's the good news. The bad news is we're waiting on CES, which is like super camera nerd event that happens January 9th.
It's not just camera, it's just technology. all the
Okay,
way
super nerd technology event. And it's like, I think the 8th is when press get into it. And so then they're going to release like, oh, here's all the new cameras. And what I don't want to do is I don't want to spend like the cameras we're currently looking at are in the $5,000 to $7,000 range. I don't want to spend that money and then in 10 days from now be like, oh man, that's the camera we should have bought. Dang it. So we want to wait for that and make sure there's no big announcement on something we were going to use, and then we'll make our camera choice. And so you've probably, maybe some of you have noticed our camera has gotten better already. Like we do have a better camera. Video has gotten better. We've now all the footage pretty much on that. We've run out of like backlog. There's still some stuff like fish room tour of Rusty Wessel and stuff like that. But for the most part, we're all up on this better camera at this point, and then we're going to take it to that next level. Now, what we're not sure of yet is if you guys are going to be able to tell, because most of you are watching on a phone. We're not sure if the next level you'll be like, wow, it looks a lot better. But if you're watching like on a 4K TV, you're going to be like, dang, you guys leveled up.
Mm-hmm. So if you want to see the really good quality videos that we have shot with this, go look at the 3-minute Thursdays. Those are all shot in 4K.
And a lot of people notice, they're like, dang,
they're the
did you
only
get a new
ones
camera?
that get shot in 4K.
Yeah, it's actually the same camera we've been using for about a month and a half or 2 months or so. But like that camera right there, what he's holding in his hand, I would say is roughly $1,600 or $1,700 worth of equipment. And so in theory, $5,000 to $7,000 would just like put that to shame. In theory. I mean, we don't know. And that's the thing is we haven't really, you know, you can read specs all day long, but I've done that in the past before where I'm like, let me go buy this really expensive thing. Oh, it does terrible at filming fish. That's a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find Zach's?
No, I couldn't find it. And
all
I
right.
went to the Finder thing too.
Maybe you repeat it again, and we'll look for it towards the bottom, Zach.
Yep.
We've got a super chat from Nick R. Can I use Easy Green more frequently to raise my nitrates to 20 to 40 ppm? It's usually about 5 ppm. Yes, exactly. Your plants are probably just like, let me get a taste of that, and eating it pretty quick. And yeah, just start ordering more pizza if you run out of pizza. So I would definitely dose more frequently. I wouldn't necessarily dose more at once, so I wouldn't go from like I dose 3 pumps and go to 6 pumps and that once a week. I would just do it twice a week, and it's a better, you know, you don't want like it to spike really high one day and then slow down. You'd much rather have it be like, oh look, it went up and then went down and then went up again, like that. So
everyone thinks I want a red weapon camera. I just want a 1DX.
No, so I'm not quite at the point where I could buy.
No,
that's not true. I probably if I knew it would like really make a huge impact on the channel, I would find a way to buy that camera. The problem is we've actually talked about and looked at it. It's too hard to use for what we do. Like it's too heavy to hold for an unboxing. So there's that problem. And it's difficult to learn, and all the capture cards and all that stuff. Like it would really change what we needed to do, and it would be better. But I'm not convinced it's going to be $40,000 to $50,000 better. Like 40 to 50 grand, we could build a new building. Like that would give back to you guys way more. Like 20 grand. So that's the thing is like the 20 grand we're building a new studio. It could have just been 20 grand plus the other money we're going to spend plus a little bit more money. We buy
weapons are 50 grand.
Yeah.
You could build like 2 studios.
Right. I'm just saying I probably could have made some way to buy that camera, and you guys would have been like, seriously?
Yeah.
I don't even really see a difference.
I'd rather
because I'm watching on my phone.
Like the commercial building down the street or something.
Right. I'd rather put 50 grand down on a down payment and build like a much bigger studio or something like that. So we're not going that crazy. We're just trying to get to a point where, you know, and that's the thing is we are doing vlog style stuff when you show fish and that kind of thing. We're doing vlog type stuff, and that's why even the biggest vloggers in the world don't use weapon, you know, red cameras, because it has to be portable. Like you have to actually be able to use it. So we're trying to buy the best possible camera that is still usable in the vloggy type stuff that we do. So
good point.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not missing any super chats. If I am,
no.
I apologize. We are over the 5-minute mark. I'm just hoping, or not 5 minute.
We only
1
do
hour
5 minute.
mark. Yeah. I haven't been sleeping a lot. I've been working a lot. I apologize. You know, that's, yeah.
But what a year, huh?
Yes.
What a year.
We went from like about 28,000 to about 100,000. So we gained about, I'm just going to round it to say 70,000 subscribers. Maybe almost 75,000. I'm really hoping that we break 200,000, if not like way more. Like obviously I would like, oh sweet, we're at 900,000. Like obviously I'm hoping for more.
What's a realistic goal? What's a future projected on?
So the future projection, if we don't change anything we're doing, is that we would be at about 175,000 next year this time.
175.
If we don't change anything we're doing, that means
That's kind of weak.
yeah. That's just what it is. I mean, that means that we're not doing anything better. It means that like the studio has no impact, that the new camera has no impact. We don't learn anything. That's if we literally just stay what we're doing. That's what will happen. We'll be at 175K. That being said, maybe there's a collaboration that helps us. Maybe we figure something out. Like that, my goal every day is to like do better than I did yesterday. That's always the goal. Like right now, the foot is off the Aquarium co-op channel a little bit because we're building that studio. So it could be one of those things like, yep, we're 175K here, but we're also at 90K on Real Fish Talk. Like that, that's still a win. And then there's always a constant struggle of like, oh, am I building out like the website or am I working on YouTube? So there's always these like, oh, I should be working on all these things. And so that's one of the goals. If I can free up more time and hire more people to do like ordering, that's more time for us to go film or more time for us to go do stuff. So, you know, it's a slow thing. Like obviously you could be like, why not just hire like 6 more people and you'd have all the time? Like, yeah, but then if the subscriptions don't come, I can't afford 6 more people. So we're working on it. It's kind of one of those like, you just take a notch each way. Like, okay, yeah, I got an employee, got more time. Got an employee, got more time. Got an employee, got more time. Oh, launched a new thing, got less time. You know, so it ratchets up to like, oh, I feel like I got some free time. And then like, oh, yeah, let's start doing that. Like, oh, no free time again. So, you know, but I do hope that, I hope we go, you know, I want to see, I would love to see at least 200,000.
Yeah.
I'm really, I can't wait until the silver play button shows up. I just want to like kiss it.
Do you know anything about it? No.
I contacted YouTube and everything, and they basically said that every 4 to 6 weeks, the algorithm goes through, checks who hit 100,000, then it allows a button for you to click on like the analytic thing, and then they mail it out, and so we're probably like 2 months away still at least. So even though we hit it, before we actually get to like unbox it.
Someone said to waterproof the silver play button and put it inside an 800 gallon.
So I thought about that, but that's because in my old videos I said I wanted to, and I still may, I kind of really want to have a tank built around it. So like imagine the 800 gallon, but in the very center, like there was another like little tank, and so like you'd put the silver play button on the stand, and then you like lower the tank onto it, so it's like preserved in there forever. And then like algae would grow on it, and you'd be like, dang it, no, trust me, there's a silver play button back there. Yeah. No, really, there is.
It's green now.
Yeah. So $10 super chat from Daniel Lumley. Thank you so much.
No comment?
No comment, just straight up boom, here's the dineros.
Heather from Varuna Aquatics. Happy New Year. Thank you for all you do. I have learned so much from you.
I'm going to have to check that out because I've never seen Heather with Varuna Aquatics. I check out most things just to be like, hey, I wonder what they're up to.
Channel.
So, yeah. But
her
bigger, better,
it's
faster.
Cute, though.
Ooh, the little ram icon, yeah.
That
she got how many people?
Really
60?
cute.
Is that what it is? Looks like a video came out about mystery snails 2 days ago.
Zebra placos.
If you guys are looking for something to do right when we end, go check out Heather at Varuna Aquatics. I have no idea the quality, so don't hate me if it's horrible. But obviously, we're not watching it while we're talking to you guys, so I'll check it out afterwards. Give it a little listen, and yeah. So, all right, well, I think that's it. My goals: work less, keep less fish, do more awesome things. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's always my goals, but
yeah.
If I say them out loud, people are going to be like, I thought you said you weren't trying to set up more tanks. All right, you're right.
I want to meet more fish heroes.
More fish heroes? Who Who is
I
on?
don't know who's left, but
Oh, there's
same thing as-
plenty.
I know, but like, I didn't know about some people coming into this, and then I would meet them and be like, oh, he's my fish hero.
So Zach, with $10 more crones, that makes me wonder. Like, oh, did he just post the?
No, he didn't. Those are doesn't even show up on the ticker. So I'm guessing it's $1.
Yeah, it's $1, but
he
I'm
doesn't
trying
say
to.
anything with them. I don't think you get to comment with $1.
With $1, you don't. No, $1 is it won't let you type anything. But I just want to. I'm trying to make sure we're not missing his thing. Like maybe he like typed it out and then did that. So, I don't know. So we're obviously we have two competent people trying to find your message here, and we can't find it. So it's one of those like, if we don't find it, don't hate us. I don't know what's going on. I can't see what we're supposed to be able to be seeing. So
Yeah.
don't know. But you could always email if you really need to or something like that. We'll get it taken care of. I don't know what's going on there. And make sure you guys buy all my rocks on my website. They're 25% off today. And buy Easy Green. You get or buy a shirt. You get a free bottle of Easy Green. If you put that down in the notes, you say free Easy Green, please. But do know that pretty much nothing's going to ship out until Tuesday because tomorrow's Sunday, Monday's a holiday, and Tuesday's the first day we can ship. So it probably, if you order something right now, it probably won't ship till Wednesday because we've got those back orders that are waiting on some supplies. They'll go out first on Tuesday, then Wednesday. But Sony AX53, haven't we already looked into that?
That is the newest. Not newest. It's been out for a year, but it's a
Yeah.
camcorder.
Yeah, we looked into that already.
And, yeah, pretty
Isn't
good
that
optical
dubbed the
stabilization.
best dad camera in the world?
No, that's the Sony RX10.
Oh, okay.
R4. I'm a nerd.
We're definitely looking into it though. I've watched a lot of stuff on a lot of cameras.
Yeah, you can never get
And-
enough rocks. You can't. I still need
That's
more
right.
rocks. I just set up my tank yesterday.
I saw that you did not bring enough rocks
Yeah.
home. I was like, that's not enough rocks.
I need maybe one more box,
Yeah.
but maybe I can show that off Instagram. I don't know.
You're going to spoil it
No,
before.
no, let's not do that.
I mean, at least do it like on your Patreon or something.
Okay.
Like, so that at least if they're supporters, that way
Yeah.
we don't ruin it and be like, oh, yeah, you already saw it. Sorry, guys.
All right.
But there's
If you're
no
on my
fish or anything
Patreon,
in it
you
yet,
can see
really.
it.
So, all right, we are going because we literally have to move all those tanks and move all those fish. You'll love it.
You'll love
I'll
it.
sit here. I'll yell at you.
Oh, more bricks.
Yeah, we got to move more bricks and stuff. This is the last of them, though.
This is the last of them.
If we finish today, we're done. Think about
Okay.
that. Think about that. Think about it. All right, guys. Make sure you check out Real Fish Talk if you haven't already. That's where we're hanging out. We're going to be there on Tuesday. We'll be there on Thursday. 2-hour shows like this. Joel, myself, Jimmy usually off in the background for now, but once we got the studio up and built, then it'll be off to the side, not talking, but he'll have an official chair, And we'll get to it. So thanks for hanging out. Let's go ahead and
Happy New Year's, guys.
Yes, Happy New Year's. Count it down. Remember, when it gets down to 2, it's Tuno. So when you're counting down from 10,
Tuno.
everyone needs to scream Tuno.
That's the other way around.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Tuno, 1, yeah. Yeah, you got to do that. Or envision me doing that. I'll be doing that. So.
Yeah. No.
All right, guys. Later.
Bye.